How y'all doing? What's going on? It's your boy Decopbo. I wanted to make it very clear about what's going on. Today is Sunday motivation. Excuse me for my tardiness and being late with it. As if you don't know by now, I'm in the hospital and I just refuse to not. I work too hard to get where I'm at. I work too hard to establish what I established. So regardless, unless I'm absolutely out of it and can't move, I'm gonna continue to come and continue to stay consistent. Consistency was a problem in my life. Uh, as I'm growing as a man and growing into the man that I should have been my whole entire life, I refuse to not understand or to accept my own flaws. Uh, Without accepting the flaw, you cannot act, nor could you depend on yourself to fix something. No one goes into a house and says, I'm going to get this whole house remodeled if nothing's wrong with the house. No one goes in their kitchen and says, I want cabinets done over, new appliances, the floor redone, and it's a brand new kitchen. So, in turn, if you are in a situation and you feel like there is nothing wrong with what I am doing, then there's no way, realistically speaking, that you can expect someone to work on that. So first for me, it's about identifying what I know, regardless of how much it hurts, or regardless of how much it hurts my feelings, that I know I need to work on. The consistency is one of my main, or was, to God be the glory, one of my main problems. So if it's called Sunday inspiration, then on Sunday I will do Sunday inspiration. To God be the glory. This subject gets tossed around. I talk about it in various different ways, but today Sunday inspiration is going to be self-awareness, self-worth. Self-awareness, self-worth. Of course, like always, a person will be concentrating on the messenger and not concentrating on the message. I say that again. A lot of times in our life, God sends us people who we don't believe in, who we don't necessarily see eye to eye with, that we don't necessarily, repeat this, we don't necessarily say is qualified. That's our problem as human beings. God will never face you in the day of judgment and you be able to tell him, I asked you to send me a message, I asked you to send me a sign, I asked you to send me something, and you did not send it. I hate to hurt your feelings. A lot of our problems, the answers has already been told to us. It's just the person who told it to us, we can't receive it. So, so the bottom line is, like, I beg you, do not listen to who is telling you this. Listen to what he is telling you. First, I would like to ask God to remove myself and so that I may be decreased and increase himself so he may get the glory. And with that being said, let's talk about relationships. And I made sure I said what I said in the opening to make sure that people be like, how you gonna talk about relationships? You didn't have fiancés, you didn't been married, divorced. I mean, not well. You've been married, children by this woman, and every time I turn around, you score. Swish! You score, you get a crazy woman with a crazy income, crazy job, crazy place in life, and then all of a sudden everything's going good and it don't work, and it's the third. How are you going to tell me about relationships? Well, I'm going to explain something to you that I learned. I have conversations with people who ask for change, and I tell them, I will give you anything you ask me for, reasonably, like, you know. And I know that's like, dude, you showing off. No, like, I'm dead serious. Like, I used to spend $100 a day on dumb shit that was destroying myself and my body. If I want to learn something, I can get somebody $3-5. Fuck, like, I spend $5 on stuff I don't eat, like, whatever. But I mean, I'm in another mindset right now. Like, you know, when I'm broke, I talk about broke shit. When I ain't broke, I don't talk about money. Ain't, you know, don't mean anything. So I mean it. Like, yo, I will give you some money if you answer some questions for me. I know y'all gonna think I'm lying. I'm not. How did you get here? Lord, no. Lord knows on God. Lord knows on God. I asked him, how you get here? And the funniest thing about it is his stories sound like mine. His stories sound like my mom's. His stories sound like everybody's. And then somewhere along his story, it do one of these numbers. And turn. Somewhere along his story, it turned. And what I'm noticing is, it always has something to do with him forgetting who he was and what he was worth. I lost my job. I got injured. Start taking the pain medicine. The doctor stopped giving me the pain medicine. This is where I'm at. I'm addicted to drugs. I was married to this woman. I was married to this girl. She broke my heart, left me. I couldn't take it. Decided to get out of it. And then, I woke up one day and I was stuck here. If you look at problems, and if you look at the problems that exist in our community, especially like right maybe in your family, you will understand that they always stem from somebody not knowing who they are and what they are worth. And every time I turn around and I look at my life, I'm talking about really look. You know that look that you do and you don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror because you look so hard. And you like, dude, you is the stupid. One of them joints where you mad at yourself for 2 days. One of them looks. When I look at myself, I always notice that everything that I have suffered from came from me not noticing who I was or what my worth was. Someone who cares about themselves is not going to poison themselves. You say, what the hell? Whoa, what are you talking about? Every time I smoke something that I do not supposed to. Every time I drink something that I am not supposed to. Every time I put myself in danger in any form of fashion, that means that the person who I am doing this to, I do not care about. He means nothing to me. See, because some of y'all ain't never do nothing. Some of y'all been absolutely cool. Some of y'all have been, God brought you down to your your mother and laid you in the hospital room and told your mother, he is special, he's an angel. Some people ain't gonna do it. I'm talking about me. I ask myself hard questions like this. Would you right now sit your son? I'm not going to say twin because they say that's my favorite and I don't got no time to explain it, but he's not. Let's take white boy. Let's take Ethan. Would you sit Ethan down and let him smoke a cigarette? Fuck no. Hell no, I wouldn't. No. Well, why would you let yourself do it? The difference is you love your son but haven't found the way to love yourself. Would you sit your son down and let him drink something that he's not supposed to? And look, this is Sunday motivation. This is not Sunday incrimination. I'm not going to lie. I drink. But the key is I don't drink like I used to. And if I continue to apply that to my life, eventually I will be able to make that statement. I don't drink no more. See, but when I realize and I forget who I am, I start saying stuff to people to please people. I start saying stuff to people to make people feel good, like, oh, I ain't gonna drink no more. What is the topics today? Forgetting who you are and forgetting what you are worth. I am worth the process that it takes. If you've been running around in the world, running around doing this and doing that and breaking rules and getting high and selling drugs and using drugs and doing all this kind of stuff, if you've been doing that kind of stuff your whole entire life, you owe it to yourself to realize that the road out necessarily might be, I didn't say is, might be the same road you have to take out. The road in might be the same road you have to take out. Stop listening to people trying to get you to microwave your life. Stop getting people or listening to people who are trying to get you to microwave your recovery. Stop getting people that hasn't been through anything you've been through, ain't walked no shoes that you walked through, ain't go through none of the stuff you go through. Stop letting those people talk you into believing that you can just get up and walk out of something you built 10 years. I don't care who you are, what you say. If you had a house and it was falling apart, the plumbing wasn't right, the floors was cranky, the steps made noise, made you scared to walk up them, and someone said, hey man, you got to go to a shelter for a year, and if you go to this shelter for a year, we'll get you a new house. As bad as that house is, and as bad as that situation is that you in, all you're going to be thinking about is, I didn't spent my whole life in this house. This is one of the very few things I got. I can fix this up. You're going to be making all the excuses in the world, even though you going to the shelter is not only better for you, you have a better outcome at the end of you going there. But still, it was with you for a long time. You got familiar with those steps. You start learning which ones to walk up. You start understanding that, hey, I got to go to the store and get me gallons of water. That's how I'm going to flush my toilet. Or I'm going to go to the neighbor's house and get a extension cord and run it through it so that you can use it. You start coming up with all this stuff, and I know about this stuff because I came from the mud. I don't mind telling you that where I live at, there's a balcony. Because where I lived at, it wasn't a roof. I knew it was raining because it was raining in the room that I was in. I have no problem telling you that I don't have a problem in the world right now other than my health. Because I remember when I had my health and everything else around my life was miserable. I was healthy as hell, but going through hell. I have no problem telling you that I'm CEO. I have no problem telling you I'm a CEO in multiple things I own. Because there was a time in my life where I was stealing, a thief, wasn't the person who I was supposed to be, couldn't be trusted. My word meant nothing. I know what I'm worth today, so it's easy for me to tell y'all anything about me, because the more I expose about my struggle, the more victory and glory God get for who I am today. If I said something to you and I made all this beautiful shit up and I made all this beautiful stuff up and I told you this, that, and the third, blase, and I had a great life and everything was fine, you wouldn't look at me like I was special. But when I tell you what I have went through, when I tell you the stuff that God has brought me from, then you look at me with different admiration. Then you look at me and say, oh, he's that. Because I am a walking miracle. I am a man that can have $500 in his pocket and wake up tomorrow with $500 in his pocket. That was impossible. I am somebody that could walk inside one of my family's house and the pocketbook be there and be like, Auntie, here go your pocketbook. What are you doing? And they take it and not check it. I am someone who has 23 kids, teenagers of various and when they do something, they mom and dad call me. When before, people wouldn't let me go to the store with their kids. Because I might have been intoxicated. Somebody might have been looking for me. I might have a gun on me. Any motherfucking thing. And for y'all listening to my mouth saying God doesn't talk like this, understand that I'm not a preacher, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't follow your rules that you follow to get through to your flock, because your flock ain't my flock. People ain't wearing suits. Some people ain't got clothes that's clean that I talk to. I'm talking to people that's trying to figure out how to eat. Not trying to impress nobody. The first thing I tell the parents when I introduce myself to them, or I introduce myself as someone who's going to help their children, I said, if you have a problem when I'm talking or how I talk, go sit in the hallway where your son go to school at for an hour. Your son don't hear you because you ain't speaking his language. Your son looking at you like a weirdo because no one talks like that around him. He don't talk like that when he leave your presence. So sometime to get his attention, I got to come down to where he at. And let him know, listen, little player, you gonna run into something, this ain't gonna be no joke, you gonna be crying like a bitch. Yeah. Jail is real. That stuff you hear about is nothing compared to what you gonna be hearing 4 o'clock in the morning sometime. You gonna try to figure out, what is that noise? You don't want to be the one making it. You don't want to be tough and you out here shooting guns, doing all that. But when it come time for commissary, you ain't ordering nothing because they keep taking your food. But like I said, I woke up one day and I said, I am worthy of God. And not worthy in the sense that he should be thankful about me. I am worthy to be thankful about him. And not just be thankful about him, but to allow him to reconstruct my life so I can finally be something that he designed me to be from the beginning. I was the one putting up construction signs. Detour, make left. 25%, 25 miles an hour speed limit. School zone. I'm making all kinds of stuff in my life, putting it so I won't follow what God wants me to do. Running for my life. I am running for my life. Not the church song, in real life. Everybody telling me, how you gonna be this, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be this. I'm like, I ain't gonna be none of that. You can't party me. But slowly but surely, not microwaved, God is constructing me and molding me to what he is calling me to do. And when I finally get there, I won't be clay. See? Let me explain this to you. Clay is nothing molded. I don't know if people don't know this. It don't matter how fancy you make a clay pot. It don't matter how much craftsmanship you do making a clay pot. It is meaningless until you do what? Put it in the fire. That clay pot, that clay vase is meaningless. Softer than drugstore cotton until you put it in the fire. I pray very simply that God shows you what you are worth and who you are. I also pray that once you figure out who you are, you start putting expectations on your life that is man-made, tailor-made for you. It might not be your journey to get your life together in a month. It might not be your journey for you to become a preacher in a year. It might not be your journey to be a preacher at all. You might be the usher. You might be the man at the masjid who hand out the mat so people can pray. Stop thinking that in order for you to make it and for order for you to be special to God, you got to be special in the world. God is not worried about your position. He is worried about your relationship with him. He can care less what your title is. See, that's the problem right now. Everybody's trying to do the biggest, the boldest jobs, and that's why the small jobs and the things that keep the church together, the things that keep the masjid together, is totally not there. That's why everything is falling apart. Because everyone's trying to be a preacher. Everybody can't preach. Where's the audience going to be? Everybody can't make the message in Jumu'ah. Who gonna listen to the message if everyone's up here? Who gonna greet the people if it ain't no ushers? Who gonna sing if there ain't nobody that's in the worship department? Who gonna collect the money and make sure that it goes to the right place if it ain't no secretaries? Know your worth and know who you are. Thank you for listening to today's Sunday's Inspirations, December 6th, 2020. I just thank God for the journey he picked me. And like always, that I always say, like always, if you are a person who don't have love, know that I love you. And I don't love you for anything in return. And I don't love you because I'm a nice person. I love you because I'm a person of love. And that's just what we do. Know that you can have a great day on purpose. Not by accident, but on purpose. Not because you got your check or you got that woman or that dude you were trying to get. Just because you woke up in the morning. There's a lot of dead people who would love to take your place. And most important, last but not least, remember that if you have something in your life that is miserable or that is making you miserable, you are a participant in your misery, because the very thing that you have in your life that is making you miserable, you have the option to remove it, therefore not being miserable anymore. To God be the glory. If you learn anything, give it to him. Decopbo 1.